축하드릴 일도 있네요. 할머니 손녀 하나 더 생기셨어요. 뭐 웬일이야. 그것도 나랑 동갑인.
서희랑
Hello and welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily, and today I will be reacting to episode 8 of Dr. Cha, the series on Netflix. And we kind of got into it a lot in episode 7, like a lot went on. So I would just refer y'all to episode 7 reaction on YouTube. If you're watching on Patreon, then I'll refer to that reaction there. Because we did leave off with Dr. Cha literally risking her life for a patient. Luckily, there was a cushion to cushion that fall. And we had Dr. Gim, aka finance surgeon, and even her adulterous husband, real relieved that she was safe. But Dr. Gim was all up on our good sis in a warm embrace, you could call it, and the whole hospital witnessed that. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen from there. But yes, before we get into the reaction here, I'm definitely gonna do the Patreon shout out, and this shout out will go out to, once again, Keisha L. Thank you so much for being a patron. It really means the world to me, and thank you to everyone else who is a patron or was a patron. It really does mean a lot to have your support here. And then without further ado, we're going to get straight into the Dr. Cha episode 8 reaction. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube, and also to give this video a good thumbs up because that helps with the algorithm, and to comment down below if you would like to leave your comment regarding this episode and your thoughts on it. But without further ado, we are going to get straight into the reaction to Dr. Cha episode 8 and see what awaits Dr. Cha here, because I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially with the cliffhanger from episode 7. We're going to see what's going to happen here. Let's just see too. I'm happy she's safe as well, because it was looking a little crazy. They're in a love triangle. Oh my gosh, the way she said that is so real.
그런 거 아닙니다. 뭐야?
He mad. Yeah, be mad, because this man ain't gonna back off. She is not yours. Number one, you out here hoeing. She ain't yours. She belongs to herself and herself alone. You have lost that right.
보호자도 선생님께 얘기했다고 하고 저도 정식으로 말씀드렸는데요.
Yeah.
그래서 지금 이 사태가 내 책임이라는 거예요?
And I'm gonna say why she's at fault. Because she has a responsibility, especially being a senior compared to everybody else who's first year residents. She had the responsibility to make sure that the proper channels were notified of this particular patient's mental health history. Because with disease of any kind comes those depressive and suicidal thoughts. That is something that we all know, especially when you're a young person going through it. When you have all this life ahead, and now you got to face the realization that this disease could potentially cut it short. This disease could potentially make it more of a financial weight to your loved ones, and that's what he was grappling with as well. And so the fact that his wife came to him, personally, the patient's wife literally told you he might be suicidal. She came and told that point blank period. Dr. Cha came and said the same exact thing because he had shared with Dr. Cha an instance in which he was contemplating doing it on the roof before the incidents on the roof with Dr. Cha and him had even come up. So this is really much, it's not, I don't want to call it like, it's in the vein of malpractice because you didn't do your due diligence with your patient. And it's different when you don't do your due diligence with somebody at a retail store or at a grocery store. That doesn't matter. But when you're in these medical professions and you don't do your diligence, it could literally mean life or death. If Dr. Cha wasn't smart, he would have died at that hospital. And then it really would have been a malpractice lawsuit. So yeah, homegirl is wrong, and I like her. You know, and her son is dating her, but Dr. Cha don't know that yet. But she is very much wrong here. And she definitely needs to do better and come correct and be more empathetic and more knowledgeable about the patients going forward, because this instance could have turned into tragedy very, very easily. And if it wasn't for Dr. Cha specifically being at the right place at the right time, he would have died. And that would have been a liability that the hospital would have had to take on. And she most definitely would have been fired anyway. So she needs to definitely learn from this and make sure that she's doing way better by patients going forward, because it's just not cool. The endless craziness that could have resulted if Dr. Cha hadn't been there is freaking unmeasurable.
서로를 생각하는 마음이 어떤 고난보다도 강한 것 같더라고.
Stop. Because that's so not funny. It's the fact that she knows that her husband doesn't love her the same way that young man loves his wife. And the fact that if they were ever in the position that she was in, where he would need to donate a part of his liver to his young wife, or if the young wife would need to donate a part of her liver to her young husband, it wouldn't have even been a question. They would have did it immediately. And you got this man, this adulterous, cheating, lying, dirty bastard of a man. And he couldn't even do that for somebody who's literally sacrificed her whole life and even some portion of her happiness for you. Dr. Cha, you deserve so much better, and I want you to leave him alone. Cut him off, shed him. Shed him like a snake sheds their skin. You need to shed him off and your life with him away from you, girl, and come into your new self, because it's not giving what it needs to give. He is so subpar, but so below basic, so not worthy of anything that she wants to give to him. He's just not worth it. I need her to leave this man expeditiously. For real.
나도 잘 몰라. 자세히 안 물어봤어.
Another flag. Think about this hard, sis. Think about it hard. Wow. She's gonna be conniving and make sure that the daughter knows that her dad is a low-level hoe. And I think it's kind of good, because it needs to come out. So even if it has to come out to the spiteful mistress's daughter, but she has every reason to be spiteful, because they put her in this situation, and this is a byproduct of that. It's the fact that she even... Okay, outside of his adultery and the fact that she a mistress, they are bad people. We got that. But just the fact that he wants to have very little conversation with his own daughter from the woman that you supposedly actually are in love with is so mind-boggling to me. And it just further cements the fact that he is incredibly selfish. However, I am glad, and not in like a happy way, but I'm just glad that somebody is being honest here and telling the truth, that she is going to expose them. Because it's what they get for trying to lie and not being honest. All he really had to do was tell his wife, hey, I don't want to get married. Y'all, like, we can have the baby together, but I, honest to God, do not want to marry you because I'm in love with her. That's literally all he had to do in college. He did not have to marry her. Even if society was telling you to do that at the time, you know, because, you know, children are beautiful regardless of how they get here. You know, if it was a one-time, one-night thing, you know, and it came, but y'all are mutually agreeable to raise this child together, they could have literally co-parented. He could have married her the regular way, and they could have had her without all this drama and nonsense. But he just chose everything wrong. And it's literally fucking up two families. It's a 2-for-1 deal. All off of his selfishness and him not being able to make up his mind. Because you must have felt something for our good sis Dr. Cha, because you didn't have just one child with her, you have two. And they're both around the same age. So, I'm just trying to understand. This man, he doesn't make any real sense, and I can't really support defending somebody like him because he's just really undefendable at this point.
엄마는 다르고 아빠는 같고.
뭐 못해!
내 딸한테 소리 지르지 마.
This darkness is coming to get him. For real, for real.
축하드릴 일도 있네요. 할머니 손녀 하나 더 생기셨어요. 뭐 웬일이야. 그것도 나랑 동갑이.
사이랑은
Stupid ass. Because what they're afraid of ultimately is if the mother finds out Dr. Cha is confirmed, they know she is going to leave him. Because this is the last straw. They already fell out of love with each other. They're only together on principle. But if she finds out he violated the principles in which their marriage was based upon, that he disrespected her, technically put her health at risk. Because when you're sleeping with somebody that's not your spouse, and your spouse doesn't know it's different when it's an open marriage, you're putting their health at risk because you don't know what that female got. And I'm calling her a female simply because no self-respecting woman would be the side piece. For as long as she's chosen to be the side piece. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's the only reason why I was referring to her as a female. Otherwise, I would have referred to her as a woman. But real women don't allow men like this to dictate to your life for 2 decades. Waste your time. You have a beautiful daughter that's by a fool who doesn't even acknowledge her publicly. For why? Well, you come from privilege and prestige. She didn't see her parents not respectable. And I so get why her family had to cut her off, because it's foolishness. Only the worst can happen when you set your kids up like this. You're the mistress and he's the adulterer. You never think about when your kids get older, when they start being those cute babies, how they're going to explain to people how my mom met my dad. Oh yeah, she was the side woman. Like what? And they had me, even though he's married to somebody else, and kept it a secret for 15, 20 years or something. And then it all came out. Like, do people not think about this shit before they do dumb shit like this? Before you bring children? Because it's different when it's just adulterer and mistress. But when you include children from that, you're putting a stigma on them that they don't need to have. Because a homeboy that's married needs to choose. And if he doesn't choose you, you need to let him go. I think Keisha Cole said it in the song. If he ain't gonna love you the way he should, then let him go. And I don't understand why, as intelligent as Dr. Choi / Professor Choi tries to pretend she is, you're still chasing up after a man who at the end of the day has chosen the other woman that he's quote unquote not in love with in their family over you every time. It's another quote as well. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And that's what they're both doing. It's insane. And there's no point to it. And it only breeds confusion and darkness. Because if Dr. Chaw leaves after she finds out this mess, he's done. There will never be another woman like that in his life. Ever. And Dr. Chaw will find happiness again because Dr. Kim is right there, waiting with open arms.
불륜에 대해서 있다는 건 엄마를 위해서지 아빠를 위해서가 아니야.
그래, 뭐 이유가 어찌 됐건 그게 우리 가족의 평화를 위한 길이라고 생각해주면 좋겠다. 그래서
It's the kids finding out and Dr. Chaw suspecting. But I've noticed we're seeing less of Dr. Chaw this episode. We're seeing more of the kids here. And that's on purpose. I love the director, because that's genius.
우리 아빠가 니네 아빠라며. 근데 너 괜찮겠어? 엄마는 불륜녀.
Come on.
아빠도 불륜나.
Okay.
너는 불륜 커플의 딸.
She forgot where she was at and how people would see that. She's like, I ain't scared of nothing. Because there's nothing you could do that society won't do against you. She forgot that you are the product of their affair. While her mother would be the victim of their affair.
왜 알고 있는 거니? 두 분 부적절한 사이예요? 절대 알게 하시면 안 돼요. 건강도 안 좋으시고 일도 힘들고 아무튼 절대 안 돼요. 그래, 내 생각도 그렇다. 너도 이해하고 싶지 않아요?
I love it. He said, I don't want to understand you, adulterer.
한때는 아버지처럼 유능한 의사로 살고 싶다는 생각도 했었고 존경하기도 했어요. 근데 이제 안 되겠네요.
Yep.
실망했어요, 아버지.
Yep. Because I thought, why is the young crying? And it's not just about the fact, it's not about their dad, because he already stated before in previous episodes, he's not a good dad. It's about the fact that their mom, who they both love, to the ends of the earth and back, is tied to this man who would disrespect her like this. That's why they all have agreed we can't tell her. Because the kids, I get, because they're like, we don't want our mother to be in a place where she's like not physically well, and then this makes her more physically unwell. Because if you're mentally stressing, it'll show up in your body and could cause deterioration. And she just had liver surgery not too long ago, so they don't want that. But how he's putting on a brave face for his mother, because at the end of the day, he wants her to be with the family for a long time. And they already had a health scare with her before, and they don't want this event and the knowledge of it to trigger further health issues for her. So I feel that. Oh, that's the actor. He's going to see his woman and their baby. That's the actor. Why was she... Women need to not do this, okay? Like, that's not funny. The fact that he didn't know she was pregnant with their baby until her parents complained that he had abandoned her and left her as a single mother is not okay. That's not okay at all. You can't be lying to people, especially when he's a good man and would have definitely taken responsibility. You don't lie like that. And got her health all messed up too. Like, girl, I need her to think about this, but she is young, but she still needs to think about this. Can't be playing around with her health and then not telling the man that's the father that he's the father when y'all got a good relationship. I need her to think. I know she's young, but girl, I could see you as a deadbeat person that you never tell the person and, you know, do what you do. But he's a great man and he would have definitely taken responsibility. So what's going on?
아빠가 아니야. 애기 아빠.
Stop lying.
아빠가 아니라고. 내 전남친이야.
I'm gonna need her to stop lying because he's gonna ask for a blood test.
들러붙는 이거 흔치 않는 사주요.
That's awesome. That's a good thing.
선생한테 말해주길 바라세요?
이미 거절한 줄 알았는데요.
기다려보세요. 혹시 압니까? 내가 둘 중 한 사람 소원을 들어주지.
Yep, if you want her to know, you tell her yourself, woman to woman. And don't be a coward about it.
가볼게요.
Miss Ma'am.
생일 축하합니다.
Oh. I bet nobody said that to her the whole day. God damn it.
괜찮죠?
Yes, it is, sir. With your wonderfulness. You're such a green flag.
신호 교수님도 학교 가신다고 한 것 같은데.
그거는 잘 모르겠는데 서인호 교수님은 이때 학회 안 가셨어요. 휴가 가신다고 해서 수술 스케줄 조절하시던 거 기억나거든요.
Not that she didn't already look amazing, but it's giving with the dress. She's giving. Because she on a warpath. And she getting everybody. It's on sight. And I love that for her. I really do. Come on. Okay, let me get out of this before I get all kind of distracted. But yeah. Her low-level, grimy-ass husband deserves the worst. I hope she leaves him next episode. And really leaves the whole family. I think she needs time to herself completely, away from her kids, her husband, and her mother-in-law. That's what I think needs to happen now. Because now she has to work on healing from this shocking discovery. And I need her to find out about this illegitimate child he has as well. Because it's not just the affair. It's the fact that they have a whole child that they have from that affair. And I'm pretty sure she connected those dots already. But that needs to be discussed as well. But yeah, that is my reaction to Dr. Cha episode 8. It was a doozy, but I'm glad at least she's for sure certain and she knows. Because she had her speculations, she had her inklings, but now all the dots have been connected and she knows. Now we wait for the next episode, episode 9, to figure out what the heck is going to happen. But if you have stayed until the end of this video, don't forget to give this video a good thumbs up if you're on YouTube. And if you are also on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe if you have gotten this far in the video and you have not yet subscribed, because, you know, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and every day we get a step closer. And also, if you're watching this on Patreon, thank you so much for being a patron. It is really appreciated. And if you want to see the full reaction to Dr. Cha episode 8, as well as the other 7 episodes of Dr. Cha, head over to the Patreon and look at the tiers and see what you want to do. And until next time, I will see y'all in the next reaction. Bye.